Hello and welcome to SingleSexy&Sixty. I'm your host, Julie Swartz, and I'm so glad you're with us today.
Today, I am speaking with my friend Kim, who is all the way in South Africa. I had the opportunity to meet her when I was traveling there, and she took us around the Cape and showed us the beach. And I saw what a fun and amazing woman she was. And when I started this podcast, I thought, you know what? I need to interview her because she is definitely single, sexy, and 60. So, welcome, Kim.
Shoot, Julie, thank you so much for asking me. I must say, I was slightly terrified when you asked me to do this because I don't see myself. I'm definitely single and I'm definitely 60. In fact, I'm going to be 66 next week. But the sexy part is a big question mark. So I'm flattered and I am looking forward to sharing a bit more about my life.
Yes. I love that you share that the sexy thing because I did actually talk about this earlier that I felt weird about using the word sexy because it's hard for us to define ourselves that way, right? Like, what does it mean? What does that look like? And just real quick, what does the word sexy mean to you?
Sure, because I do see other people as sexy. I think it's a confidence and it's a carrying yourself with a kind of um, a little bit of a charm and just enjoying being a woman. I think just, to claim being a woman and the joy of that
But Kim,
are
you embrace that. That is you. That is totally you. Totally you.
well, thank you. Thank
Yes.
you.
Yes. Okay,
Thank
one
you.
thing, yeah, that is probably you didn't feel sexy, and it's something that's kind of on the forefront of my mind that you shared with me was about your knee replacement. And the reason I want to talk about this first is because I need to do it, and I'm holding back on it, and for many reasons. But you went ahead, you did it, you recovered so quickly, you were out and about, you were driving so fast. So, as a person in their 60s to recover from this, going through the surgery, what is anything you can share with us about doing this and your experience?
Okay. So I love exercise and being active. And I've in the past I've done walks with groups of women that I've really, really enjoyed, like over the course of 5 or 6 days. But in the last, it was about 5 years ago, my knee really started acting up and I wasn't able to do that kind of exercise anymore. It's just gotten progressively worse. And I, went to a well-respected orthopedic surgeon who you gave me my options, but it's you can do injections, cortisone injections, you can try and manage it with anti-inflammatories, or you can get a knee replacement. And I just decided that for the rest of my life, I want to be able to be active and do these kind of adventures I love. And
At
so
what
I
point,
just
sorry to interject here. At what point did you decide, okay, now I need to do the knee replacement? Was it over a couple of years where you tried the injections and did all that? At what point did you say, I need to do this now?
I think it was just stopping working and having a gap in my life where I could
Oh,
actually do it.
get
I
going,
was
yeah.
able to do it. And, it was an inner voice in me. I've been thinking I listen to my inner voice a lot when it comes to making decisions about trips I'm going to take, where I'm going to live, things I'm going to do. And that inner voice was saying, it's time.
I love that.
And you can do this. You can
Yes.
do this. And I was in a really, really positive mental and emotional space after such a wonderful trip overseas last year. And I knew I could do it. And just a bit of background in 2008, I was actually going to move back from South Africa back to America, and I was diagnosed with stage 3C colon cancer. And I had an 8-year-old child. I was a single parent, and I essentially went through that journey on my own. And that was so difficult and so painful. And, I had that experience in terms of a medical trauma. And I have to say, maybe that's one reason this experience has been so easy, is because compared to what I went through with my colon surgery and chemo, This was an
Wow.
absolute breeze. And I think because I'm active and I was well prepared, I went to a physio a couple of months before my surgery, she gave me exercises that I did fastidiously to build up the strength of my knee. And I just continued to be as active as possible. So for me, it was being active, doing the prep work, and being mentally prepared and knowing I could do it. I knew a couple of stories of people. I only listened to the good stories. I didn't listen to the negative stories. I didn't go online. I didn't read anything about the
Smart.
dangers, the risks, the bad stories. I honed in on the success stories. And I thought, if these people can do it, I can do it.
I love that. I
And
do believe that, yes, having a positive attitude, no matter what you're going through, focusing on the positive can help, get that response to it. If you start focusing on negative, that's going to happen. But if you focus on positive, so I love that you did that. I love the photo that you shared of you in the hospital bed with, I mean, barely an ace bandage, whatever, on your knee. I'm like, gosh, did she even have surgery? It looked like you just had a strained knee. I think you had a glass of wine in your hand or something. So tell me about that picture.
oh, Julie, I went to, they have something here called step down facilities where insurance will approve for you to go for a few days, especially if you live by yourself, to get you to a
Okay.
place where you can go back home. And it's a like a hospital environment, but it's not as intense. It's not supervised in quite the same way. And so from the hospital, I went to there, but I found it quite depressing. It was in December. There wasn't a lot of people there, and the average age was about 85 to 90. So I was surrounded by very, very elderly people who, what it, and I was quite
Get me
miserable.
out of here. Yes. Yeah.
I actually called my younger sister and on the Friday night and I said, I'm gonna jailbreak. I need to break out. I did last 2 more days, but in the course of the weekend, I have two of my good friends are doctors are married, and the so Dave arrived on the Sunday with a packet and he says, I'm a doctor. This is doctor's orders. You need to have. He got me they've got little aluminum tins of wine. I don't know if they've got those now in America, but you can get like a tin of wine that's actually really, really nice that you open it up and I stuck it in a glass like it was like a soda,
Yes. Uh-huh.
I sat there and you can see in that picture I have such a big smile on my face. So it was
Doctor's
Dr.
orders. I
Gordon
love that. Doctor's
having my
orders.
glass of wine.
Yes. Yeah.
So listen, I live in Cape Town. It's one of the most well-known winemaking places in the world. Since I've been
That's
here
right. Yes.
35 years, I have to confess I'm quite a wine lover.
What's your favorite, red or white?
My favorite red is Pinot Noir.
Uh-huh.
I like the lighter reds or the Grenache, and my favorite white is Chardonnay.
Oh, nice. And you prefer the local wines?
Well, the local wines, I mean, that's one reason. I mean, a lot of people will come to Cape Town just to, if they enjoy wine, to
Yeah.
do wine tasting. In fact, there's people acquaintances that are coming to Cape Town that I'm going to go wine tasting with them next weekend. Um, it's just so affordable, so much more affordable than American wine. So when I go over there, I love the wine, but it's very pricey. So Americans, especially when they come here, cannot believe the bang for buck, the quality wine you get for, I mean, really comparatively inexpensively.
Yes.
So a
Yeah.
beautiful wine estates is one of my favorite things to do. Go wine tasting.
I didn't get to do that when I was there. I don't know why we didn't do it that day, but we did. I do a little bus tour around it, but we didn't actually stop at the winery. So kind of disappointed I didn't do that when I was there. But I also love how our conversation went from knee replacement to wine. That shows what kind of person you are. You are fun. I love it. I love it. Um, another picture that you shared with me, which I was like, there's no way that you are like breaking out in the splits in the middle of weddings. And look at me, here I go. First off, I haven't done the split since I was probably 15 years old. I think that's probably the last time I ever did that. So I mean, come on now, tell us about about this.
It's just, there's a real playful side of my personality that doesn't come out as often as it should.
Oh,
I grew up in quite a serious family. Um, we were quite serious. And I just know I don't laugh enough, sometimes I think we just take life too seriously. And I've always been flexible. And
do you
so
stretch every day? Like, is that just part of your normal life, stretching every day?
Well, it didn't used to be, but when I wanted to decide, I wanted to get back. I mean, I used to be able to do it, and then I couldn't do it, and then I just made a concerted effort to start stretching.
At what
And
age?
let's see, 50,
Wow,
55.
that's amazing. Yes, that you
And
started doing
I think I
it.
wanted to do it because I mean, one of the crazy adventurous things I've done, and I like it was that inner voice. I got an opportunity to travel to Mozambique with a group of 60 people I didn't know. And I went with these younger people. And I don't think I did it the first year, but there's usually the first night they all go to a local pub in Mozambique. And you have these little dance circles where you go in the middle. And here I am, and nearly, I think my first time, because I've done it 7 times, gone to Mozambique. Um, so I went in the middle of the dance circle and I did the splits, and all these younger people just kind of, their eyes pop out and they kind of go, wow, she's older, but she's really fun. Now, it's not like I want to be 40 or 45. It's not my goal. I've got my silver hair and, my wrinkles. I don't want to be 45. I don't need that. But that doesn't mean we can't be fun.
Right.
And
Yes.
so I just think there's that little bit of a youthful, playful side to me. And I did it at my niece's wedding. So that picture was taken at my niece's wedding in Texas in November. And I'd done it at the wedding before. There's 2 family weddings I went to last year. And, I guess the family just all thought it was fabulous. I mean, I don't think it's that big of a deal, but if it brings joy to people and they get a giggle out of it, it's it's lots of fun.
Amazing. Okay, so you just mentioned oh, my wrinkles and all that. I did not see one wrinkle.
Well,
So,
I think it's the lighting or the camera because they're there.
but so, here, so many people are focused on that at our age, and it's facelifts and Botox and fillers and all this sort of stuff. Do you do that?
No, I haven't done it. Listen, I will
Wow.
confess, a while ago, I did have a bit of a rejuvenation procedure. I was really self-conscious about my turkey neck.
Yes, at our age.
And so no, this was 10, I mean, it was 10 years ago. And I have a friend who's a plastic surgeon. So I mean, I
Oh,
can't believe I'm saying this, but I did do that because and it's such a personal thing. And
yes.
I'm not going to lie about it. You've asked me if I've done it, so I'm going to say yes. And I was really, really, really happy with it. And, it's difficult because, gravity takes its toll. It's coming back. The turkey neck comes, it's like our skin, the gravity goes one way, and
Yeah,
it's
my
not.
sister did it at 50, because it's hereditary. I don't know, it's hereditary, but
No, it
anyway,
is hereditary. And my mom did it. My mom had one. So we inherited her neck, but I just happened to go in and get it. But
for you.
I think I might have been 54, 53. So it was a while ago. I haven't
Yeah,
done
about the
anything
same age.
since
Yeah.
then.
So
No.
interesting. Thank you for being so transparent. But so you're saying you did it in the early 50s. It's been about 10 years and maybe you have to do it again. So that's interesting
Well, I'm
information.
battling with that because
Uh-huh.
I really would like to age gracefully, and it's difficult, I think it's one of the hardest pressures of being, our culture is
Yes,
just
yes,
it's so Instagram, Facebook,
yeah.
youthful, and there just seems to be this standard that is
Yeah.
very difficult to
Impossible.
maintain. It's
Impossible. Yeah.
impossible.
Yeah.
It's impossible. So I'm I'm torn. We all want to look and present ourselves as the most attractive version of ourselves when we can. But there comes a point, well, I think I do think God has a plan in our aging to live with a bit more humility and having to look inwards for beauty instead of outwards.
I love
And
that.
it's not always easy.
Uh-huh.
But that's I'm kind of struggling with that at the moment, with
Oh,
finding that balance of putting forth your best self.
and not
Um,
feeling like you're letting yourself go. I think some
yeah,
people view it as that, like, oh, she just let herself go. And I'm like, what does that mean?
exactly. So it's tough.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so speaking of all that, you are single, you're in South Africa. Are you dating?
That's a no.
That's a no.
I never dated a lot. I wasn't ever that girl who turned all the heads and just never had a lot of confidence in that area of life. I got married at age 36 and had my son at age 37. So I wasn't young. Um, Unfortunately, my marriage didn't last very long. And Greg is his name. We're very, very good friends now.
Hey, I
So,
know.
okay, so
Yeah,
so
go ahead.
divorce, but I had one relationship, quite a hot, spicy relationship for a few years. Uh,
Nice.
but I was 42 and I'm now 65. So that was a long time ago. And I think my last date was, well, okay, my last intimate relationship was about 12 years ago, 13 years ago. So it's been a long time. And I've done some online dating. I'm petrified of it. Cape Town doesn't have it's not known for having a great pool of quality single men. We've got
Interesting.
quite a
Okay.
high gay population in Cape Town.
Oh, uh-huh.
And most of there's lots of men I know who are amazing, but they're all very married and committed.
Uh-huh.
I have not really met many single guys that would interest me and make my life better than it is. So, and I've dealt with the fraud thing, and I'm just very wary of
Yes.
online dating. Although I
Yes.
know it's the way of the world at the moment,
Yeah.
even for people over 60.
Right. So when you say that you're looking for somebody to make your life better than it is, what would that look like?
Probably a companion. You know what I really miss is on the really good days or the really hard days, not
Yeah.
having a person to talk that through with, because friends aren't always going to be, some things aren't, you may not want to share, or it's more that companionship of sharing moments together, I think is
Yes.
what I miss. I've become very ultra independent. So I'm not lonely, but I'm very alone and I bear a lot. And the good things and the bad things, the
Yes.
hard days
Yeah.
and the joyful things. And sometimes you just want to share that with somebody. And
Right.
that's what I miss the most
Yeah.
is,
Isn't it interesting? I think there is a very different connection between a partner than a friend, right? Like
yes.
girlfriends are wonderful. You share so much with them and they get you through things, but just having a guy hold you while you're experiencing something, that physical touch or something is different that you don't get with your girlfriends. Yeah,
No,
that's good.
it's for sure. And if you're not single, you don't understand that physical touch. I intentionally go get like a massage every few months. Because I just don't get a lot of touch in my life, just that sensory. So
Yes, yeah.
it's not a sexual thing, but it's a sensory thing of
Yes.
just physical touch. I think it's very healing. It's
You're so
very
wise. Yeah.
therapeutic,
Yes, yes,
you
yeah.
know? And people in relationships, you're not even conscious of it because it's just happening.
Right. Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully it is. Sometimes it's not.
Exactly.
Exactly. So you're talking about the online dating. I'm just so curious if it's different in another country than it is here. I would be so curious to know.
Okay, Julie, here's the deal.
Okay.
Because I respect you so much, I'm going to take a challenge and I'm going to put a profile up and I don't know, we'll have to decide how I'm going to share my experiences, but I can't promise for it how long. I'm going to say a month.
Okay. Oh, maybe once a week we'll do a little update or something. Oh, this is going to be so fun. I can't believe you're going to do this.
No, I
How fun.
will.
Yes.
I will.
Okay, let's talk about your profile really quick. What are you going to say? Just,
Sure.
I know I'm putting you on the spot here. Think about just maybe two sentences that would just try to tell it, like, watch me do the splits. Or I don't know, like, what would you say the first little bio?
Well, I have a fridge magnet.
You do.
Uh, well, this is when I used to do, let's see, I ended my when I did go online. My fridge magnet says, I don't know if you can see it, says, I kiss better than I cook.
Oh, that's me too. That's a good one. That
So
I
that's
think you should definitely start with that. Yes.
so I, I'm so picky, and I don't want to say I'm picky. I think I might use a South African example of I'll find out the name of the guy who, found the biggest diamond, in South Africa and say, I'm looking for I'm looking for the rare diamond,
Oh, cool. Okay. Oh, I
This
love
guy
that.
found, this
Yes.
guy found this, rare diamond in the dirt. I really want a diamond or nothing, to be
Yes.
honest.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I'll be careful and not come across as arrogant, but I want to kind of make it known I'm picky and that, you know, but fun. So I don't know. I'll have to work on that.
Okay. I'm so excited for this. This is going to be so fun. And it's going to be interesting to see if it is different. We'll share some stories with other people and see this is what I got this week. This is what you got this week. What does that look like? And it could be kind of fun. So thank
So
you.
maybe May 1st. It's actually my
Okay.
birthday. So maybe I'll put
Oh,
something up on my birthday for a month because
there you go.
I'm going to France in June. So I'm going to be gone. So I'm going to just have an open mind with very low expectations.
Yes. Okay. That's probably the best way
Okay.
to be too. If you set, like too high, then yeah. But just this is fun. I'm just going to have fun with this. Let's see what happens. Perfect.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So is there anything else you want to share with the Single Sexy 60 community about you and life in South Africa?
You know what? I just wanted to say one thing. I've been thinking about, so, women don't talk about how difficult it is to adapt to motherhood, but women also don't talk about how hard it is to let your kids go
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
let them spread their wings, live their lives, make their own decisions,
Make their own
um,
mistakes.
make their own
Yes,
mistakes.
yeah.
And I have to say, I'm very proud that I've been able to do that, but it's not easy.
Right.
And,
Yeah.
my son is a traditional male. He's not a big communicator. That's an understatement. So, when I see him, I mean, he's much better in person, but we chat once a week on the phone, a video chat once a week. That's it. And, sometimes a text in the middle of the week, but usually there's a reason for it.
Yeah.
Um, and so that letting go process I find is very difficult. And as generations go on, it seems like parents have a larger hold, their kids are staying at home longer, all those kinds of things. So it's it's not an easy it's not an easy thing to discuss, but I think it's really relevant because for us as moms, so much of our
Yes.
identity is about being a mom. So when they move out, all of a sudden we have to go, who am I independent of my role of being a mom?
That's good. That's
And
great.
I think it's you kind of have to have another conversation. You have to really look deep and go, who am I? not being a mom and have things to
Yes.
talk about that are outside of your children.
Yes. So
So
redefining yourself at that stage of life when the kids all leave the house, and then finding yourself, for me, then divorced. So I redefined myself then, and now I'm trying to redefine myself now. And it's just ever evolving. Yeah.
it's a process, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
Um, the last thing I just wanted to say, and it's a quote that resonated with me so much, and I don't know if you watch Shrinking or know of that show with Harrison
Yes. I
Ford,
watched a few of
Jason
the
Segel.
episodes. Yes.
So season two just ended, and Harrison Ford is his character Paul is having a conversation with Jimmy, um, who he has now arranged to he Jimmy has met this woman in the past, and he kind of ran away because his initial wife had died, and he went
Oh,
through immense grief, okay, in the series. And so Harrison Ford, confronts him, and he says, Jimmy's character says, "But I'm just full of scars." And Harrison's Ford comment is, "What a shame to be 42 years of age and not be completely covered in scars. They're evidence of a life well lived."
love that.
And I just thought that was so inspiring because at this age, we do have scars. We have scars. We've got
Yes. Yeah.
baggage,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it doesn't mean we can't have joy and delight and playfulness.
Right.
And
Yes. Yes.
you know, it's there's opportunities
Yes.
and so
I
much
think,
to look forward to.
yes. One thing, I thank you for sharing. That was wonderful for sharing that. And I do think that, like we talked about this desire or need to feel like we look perfect and everything's perfect in our lives because social media is telling us that all of our friends have these perfect lives. So why don't we have these perfect lives? But if we can get the men to share about their scars and open up and be vulnerable, how much better the relationships are going to be. And I really feel like that's what's missing a lot in the men that I am talking to or trying to date. I feel like they're very guarded and they don't share these things. You can't really get to know somebody unless you open up to that. So that was really beautiful. It gave me goosebumps. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah. All right. So I'm excited that well, no, we're going to wait till like maybe May 9th. My birthday's May 10th, so we're coming right into each other, and we got Mother's Day in there too, that I'll reach out and you're going to share
Okay.
some of your stories, right?
Okay.
Okay. All right. So for now, I'm going to say goodbye.
Thanks, Julie.
And
It's
I
been so
thank you. So much fun.
been
You're
fun.
awesome.